We're making chicken pot pie the easy way. Just because it's easy doesn't mean it's not just as good as fully homemade. I like to call this kind of semi-homemade. First, we start with some onions in the pan and a little bit of butter and oil. Once those are brown and translucent, then I did add a 1/4 cup of flour. I also added some chicken bouillon, about 2 tablespoons. Chicken bouillon is a great way to make your dishes a little more flavorful, a little more savory, especially anything like a chicken soup or just like this chicken pot pie. It just adds a little deeper flavor. And then I did add some salt and pepper as well. I mixed that up. And then I came in with 1 and 3/4 cups of water. And you just keep mixing that and mixing that. It only takes a few minutes and then it will really start to thicken quickly. You want to get it to about this consistency here. Once you've got that, just stir it up well. The whole time I'm also just pulling the little bits off the pan as I go. I added 1 can of the vegetable medley. I did drain it before I added it. And then I added 2 cans of the chunk chicken breast that's cooked. And I gave that a nice mix. And then while I was preparing that, in the meantime, I did have my pie crust in the oven. My bottom pie crust, I par baked it, which means I just cooked it for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees, just so it was just kind of partially baked so that it's fully cooked by the time it's done. And then I'm just adding in my mixture into the pie crust. I don't go all the way to the top, just to the top of the crust. I don't want it to bubble over. And then I'm gonna top it with another pie crust. And when I lay that on there, I'm just kind of pinching the 2 crusts together to have a nice seal on it. And I just go all the way around and get that in there nice and tight, nice and pinched up. And then I score the top just a little bit with a knife. I do 4 little slits for venting and to make it look real fancy. And then I brushed on a little bit of butter on the top. And then I baked that in the oven for about 40 minutes at 350 degrees. I did have some of the filling left over, so I went ahead and filled up these little ramekins that I have. And I was careful not to fill those too full either because these do bubble over. And then I just took the lid of the ramekin and I sort of pressed it into my extra pie crust that I had, and that made a perfect little pie crust lid for these ramekins. And I did the same thing. I scored it and I buttered it and I baked them, same thing, 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes until they were nice and golden. This is a little preview of what they came out to look like. And then I still had some dough left over, so I cut it in some little circles and I buttered it and I put some cinnamon sugar on it. And when they came out of the oven, I just drizzled some honey, and these are just a tasty little dessert you can make with leftover pie crust. That's our finished pie, and it was delicious. I hope you guys give it a try. Enjoy.